Good morning, students. We are doing our first chapter, Constitution Why and How. And today we will discuss our next topic, that is how was the Indian Constitution made. Who made the Indian Constitution? It was Constituent Assembly under the Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946 who made the Constitution of India. The member of the Constituent Assembly made the Constitution of India. The Constituent Assembly, which came into existence on 11th December 1946, this duration, so officially Constituent Assembly came into existence on 11th December 1946. This duration, the Constituent Assembly had 145 meetings and framed a draft constitution. So Constituent Assembly, which came into existence, officially came into existence on 11th of December 1946 in 145 meetings, framed a draft constitution for India. During these discussions, the various laws proposed by the British government in 1909, Government of India Act basically, which we have discussed in last session also, in 1909, 1990 and 1935, as we have discussed in the last session, that the biggest source of Indian Constitution is the Government of India Act 1935. So, as we have discussed also that our constitution is bag of borrowing. We have taken lot of feature from the other constitution around the world, and the biggest source of Indian Constitution is Government of India Act 1935 proposed by the British government. The British parliamentary system, the American Bill of Rights, we have discussed all these things, that fundamental rights which we have in our constitution, we have taken these fundamental rights from the Constitution of United States of America. The social directive policies of Ireland were studies, and some laws of those were written in the constitution. So basically, who made the constitution and who framed the constitution? It was Constituent Assembly who made the Constitution of India. So Constituent Assembly came into existence, officially came into existence on 11th of December 1946. Finally, the Constitution was approved on 26th of November 1949. So our Constitution was ready on which date? 26th of November 1949, and came into existence on 26th of January 1950. But कब आया था एग्जिस्टेंस में? 26th of January 1950. So why we opted the date 26th of January 1950? इसके पीछे भी एक रीज़न है, because in 1930 the Indian National Congress ने 26th of January को पूर्ण स्वराज दिवस, a complete independence day सेलिब्रेट किया था. That's why they opted the date 26th of January 1950 to enforce our constitution. So our constitution was ready on 26th of November 1949 and came into existence, or we can say that came into force on 26th of the January 1950. This day, January 26, is celebrated as Republic Day in India. How was the constitution made? For the time being, the constitution was made like we got independent in 1947. So for the time being, हम किस चीज़ को फॉलो करते हैं? Which document we were following as a constitution? For the time being, the constitution was made. India would be governed in accordance with the Government of India Act 1935. तो जब तक हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो है फोर्स में नहीं आया 1950, 26th of January 1950, in that time period हम किसको फॉलो कर रहे थे एज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? वी वर फॉलोइंग द एक्ट ऑफ 1935 एज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, एंड जो भी उसके लॉज थे, जो भी एक्ट्स थे, एक्ट ऑफ 1935, वी वर फॉलोइंग दोज एक्ट्स. द असेंबली met in sessions open to the public for 166 days, spread over a period of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days before adopting the constitution. So how much time the Constituent Assembly taken to frame the constitution? 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. It was finally passed and accepted on November 26, 1949. In all, the 284 members on the assembly signed the official copies of the Indian constitution. So how many members were there in constituent assembly? 284 members of the constituent assembly signed the copies of the Indian constitution, which was ready on 26th of November 1949. After many deliberations and some modification, 111 plenary sessions in 14 days, the 308 members of the assembly signed 2 copies of the document both in English and Hindi on 26 January 1950 basically. Same day, the assembly unanimously elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the President of India, which came into effect on January 26, 1950 and celebrated as the Republic Day of India. So who was the first president? Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the President of the Constituent Assembly, was also elected unanimously as the President of India by the Constituent Assembly. So what were the objectives of the Constituent Assembly? You can see in the picture here, you can see members of drafting committee of Indian Constitution, members of drafting committee of Indian Constitution. So objectives, what were the objectives of Constituent Assembly? To set up a union of India comprising British India and princely states. Because when we got the independence, at that time we have 11 British provinces and 565 princely states at that time पे. What does it mean? Like जो 11 British provinces थे, they came directly under the control of Government of India after independence. वो सीधे सीधे किसके अंडर आ गए थे? Government of India के अंडर आ गए थे directly without any problem. But at the same time we have 565 princely states in our country. हमारी कंट्री में छोटे और बड़े कुल मिलाकर जो है इन टोटल 565 ऐसे छोटे छोटे स्टेट्स थे जहाँ पर कि इंडिपेंडेंट जो प्रिंस थे वो रूल कर रहे थे. सो द फर्स्ट चैलेंज था वी कैन से कि भी हमारे इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस आफ्टर द इंडिपेंडेंस कि यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, हमें एक इंडिया बनाना है, यूनिटी के बेस पे एक इंडिया बनाना है, यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया जिसमें दोनों ही जो है ब्रिटिश इंडिया एंड द प्रिंसली स्टेट्स जो है, क्योंकि जो ब्रिटिश प्रोविंसेस थे वो तो अंडर आ गए थे गवर्नमेंट के. अब क्या था, जो प्रिंसली स्टेट्स है उसको भी गवर्नमेंट के अंडर लेके आना था और एक यूनाइटेड इंडिया जो है क्रिएट करना था. टू सेट अप फेडरल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट with separate state and central government. So we have discussed in the last session also that the federal structure, we have adopted it from the Canadian Constitution. We have a federal form of government. Sorry. Federal form of government means we have 2 levels of government. In fact, we have 3 levels of government: the central government and the state government, and the third level is known as the third tier of government is known as the Panchayat Raj. So from the beginning we have adopted the federal structure because we have different regional aspirations in our country, diversity in our country. So हमें क्या सूट कर रहा था? फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर ही हमें सूट कर रहा था. To set up a democracy in which all powers is derived from the people. And the जो थर्ड ऑब्जेक्टिव था वो डेमोक्रेटिक ऑब्जेक्टिव था, that we are going to फॉर्म है डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट. डेमोक्रेटिक जो स्पिरिट है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की, दैट इज़ डेमोक्रेसी, कि हमें एक डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट जो है सेटअप करनी है इन विच ऑल द पीपल ऑफ अ नेशन कैन पार्टिसिपेट इन मेकिंग द गवर्नमेंट. टू प्रोटेक्ट द इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ इंडिया एंड हर सॉवर्जिनिटी राइट ओवर लैंड, सी एंड एयर. The next was to protect the integrity of India and our sovereign right over land. Means we are a sovereign nation. We have all the powers to take decision regarding our internal and external matters. Then to help India attain its rightful place in the world and work for peace and welfare. और जो last one था that was that for the development of India. India की development के लिए क्या क्या हमें करना है, एंड India will promote peace and welfare in the world. Here in this picture you can see Dr. Sachin Anand Sinha was the first president, temporary. He was the temporary president of Constituent Assembly when it met on December 9, 1946. So, from here it is very clear. In the last session also I have told you that the Constituent Assembly was first met on December 9, 1946, but it officially came into existence on 11 December 1946. So the first president of Constituent Assembly, or we can say the temporary president of Constituent Assembly, was Dr. Sachin Anand Sinha, was the first temporary president of Constituent Assembly. Then permanent president of Constituent Assembly, the first permanent president of Constituent Assembly, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, then became the president of Constituent Assembly. Dr. Rajendra Prasad later also became the first president of Free India. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar became the chairman of its drafting committee on December 11, 1946. Who was the chairman of drafting committee? Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was the chairman of drafting committee. Drafting committee, basically the committee who was responsible to draft the constitution. जो कि जितनी भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में जो डिस्कशंस होते थे, डिबेट्स होते थे, और फाइनली जो उनसे जो रिजल्ट्स निकल के आते थे उनको मीन्स रिटन फॉर्म में जो कन्वर्ट कर रहे थे, जो कमेटी कन्वर्ट कर रही थी, दैट वाज द ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी, एंड डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर वाज द चेयरमैन ऑफ दैट ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी. Then we come to the directive principle of state policy. What are these directive principle of state policy? First question, from where we have taken these directive principle of state policy? We have taken the directive principle of state from the Constitution of Ireland. Clear? Because we have discussed also that directive principle of state policy we have taken from Constitution of Ireland. And what are these directive principle of state policy? Basically, these are the guidelines to the government. These are the guidelines in Constitution to the government for the welfare of the people, for the welfare of the citizens. So we start here, directive principle of state policy, Article 36 to Article 51. Article 36 to Article 51 of the Constitution, Part 4. They came under the Part 4 of the Constitution, like fundamental right under Part 3 and directive principle of state policy under Part 4 of Indian Constitution, from Article 36 to 51. Deal with the directive principle of state policy. The directive principles are the guideline principles for governance but are not enforceable by any court. This is the main question here. Sorry, student. So what are directive principle of state policy? First thing, they are in the Part 4 of the Constitution, from Article 36 to 51. Third one, what are directive principle of state policy? They are the guidelines to the government for the welfare of the people, guiding principles for the government, you can say. From where we have taken directive principle of state policy from the Constitution of Ireland. But the main thing is not enforceable by law. Not enforceable by law. Like the main difference between fundamental rights and directive principle of state policy, the main one line difference is fundamental rights are enforceable by law. Fundamental rights are enforceable by law, but directive principle of state policy are not enforceable by law. Means in the case of violence of fundamental rights we can move to the court. अगर हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स के साथ कहीं पर भी कुछ भी छेड़छाड़ होती है, we can move to the court directly. But in the case of directive principles, you cannot move to the court. Means these are mere guidelines to the government. अब जो guidelines हैं, prescribed guidelines हैं in the constitution, हम ऐसा नहीं कर सकते कि हाँ ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में गाइडलाइंस हैं और गवर्नमेंट इनके अकॉर्डिंग काम नहीं कर रही है, एंड हम जो है on the basis of directive principle of state policy हम कोर्ट में मूव कर लें. So this is the basic difference between the fundamental rights and the directive principle of state policy. then that does not change the fact that they are nevertheless fundamental to the governance of this country. These principles provide the social and economic guideline for Indian democracy and pave the way for the establishment of a true welfare state. So, directive principle of state policy are the guidelines for the government, for the central government and for various state governments, and these are mera guidelines for the welfare of the people of the country and for the welfare of the nation. As the name indicates, these principles, and we have social and economic guide. These are the social and economic guidelines. Means for the social and economic welfare, citizens के social और economic welfare के लिए what are the duties of the government? Government की क्या क्या duties हैं basically? Like एक एग्जांपल मैं देता हूँ, लाइक स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज़ को प्रमोट करना. दिस इज़ अंडर डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी कि भाई जो स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज़ हैं उनको जो है प्रमोट करें सो दैट जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट कर सकें हम अपनी कंट्री में. दिस इज़ ए डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. एज द नेम इंडिकेट्स, दीज प्रिंसिपल्स command the state and its instrumentalities to follow certain fundamental principles while formulating pursuing policies. So these are the guidelines basically when a government is making its policies. In simple words, while a government is making its policies, जब भी कोई गवर्नमेंट अपनी पॉलिसीज़ बना रही हैं तो वो जो उनको गाइडलाइंस कहाँ मिली हैं डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसीज़ में, उनको फॉलो करते हुए अपनी पॉलिसीज़ को फ्रेम करें. दे शुड फ्रेम देयर पॉलिसीज़ by following the directive principle of state policy. So these are the directive principle of state policy. Then in next session, students, we will discuss about the amendment procedure. What are various amendments in constitution, which article is there responsible for the amendment of the constitution, and we will discuss the one of the biggest amendment in our constitution, that is the 42nd Amendment Act 1976. It is also known as the mini constitution. इसको हम mini constitution भी बोलते हैं because ये सबसे बड़ा amendment हुआ था during emergency. Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of our country that time. So we will discuss this topic tomorrow. So students, read the PPT carefully, watch the video carefully, and if you have any doubt, please take your doubts. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you.